All right, we're recording.
Okay.
Awesome.
Rolling.
All right, as Meredith said, this is a huge disclaimer. We are not tax experts. We're going to basically kind of provide you as much as the basic information and provide tools that you would need to succeed. If you do have some serious concerns about your taxes, please go see like a tax expert. And we do have resources for you to be able to get in contact with a tax expert in this presentation. So next slide, Meredith, please. So here are some basic documents that you will get from M&A, which is so M&A is technically not your employer. CNCS is technically your employer, but M&A will provide your W-2 because they're the ones that are like sending the money to us. That way we are able to work in our separate areas. Our W-2s were mailed out on 1/27. So if you have not gotten your W-2 yet, please let us know. And then, so again, things that are not provided by M&A are just some of the basics. So identification, so like your photo ID, social security card, any savings account information that you have, and of course your last year's tax return. Other forms of income like supplemental income, your pension, if depending pensions or social security income, that sort of thing, and any like adjustments / deductibles, which can be your child care provider, which AmeriCorps does provide, proof of education expenses, and charitable donations, and mortgage interest forms or student interest forms. Next slide, please, Mary. So here's some basic taxes. So federal income taxes is always automatically withheld. So no matter how you do your taxes, you will always have federal income tax withheld unless you set it that way that you don't. Your state income tax is not withheld. So if you're not withholding your state income taxes, you could potentially owe your taxes and not get your refund. And then, of course, our Michigan State's income tax is 4.25%. And your also local income taxes are also not withheld. So depending on what county you're in, like you would also make sure that when you're doing your form, you make sure you double check that you are withholding your local income taxes are not withheld. So example, also disclaimer, Mara may have messed up the math, but I'm not gonna throw her under the bus. So again, so you would take your paycheck, multiply that by 0.0425, get the number that you would get. So in Mara's educated guess of math is $658.38 times 0.425, which would get you $27.98. Then you would multiply that number by 2, which is that's the amount that you would get withheld for that month, which would then be $55.96, and then multiply by that 8 months. So anything that's not withheld between the months of September and April. So again, the total being $447.68. So if you have any questions, it's like now would be a good time to ask. If not, we can move
on. Okay. Yeah. So you might owe money this year instead of getting a refund. Main caveat there. Right. So United Way offers a lot of assistance and guidance around taxes. Is where I sourced a lot of my material. So the programs that they have that are location specific is the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program, VITA. So depending on your location, the services you get through the VITA program might be different. So the VITA program is for people who, it's the most hands-on, I would say, is what it sounds like. So if you have limited access to technology, or your internet is shaky, or you're like, I really don't know like what taxes are going to look like this year, the VITA program will give you like the most direct contact to someone helping you to fill out your taxes. You will have like a direct assistance from an IRS certified volunteer, and the one big eligibility requirement is that it's for households with income of $57,000 or less. So that is, all of their programs follow these guidelines. But if you want to go out for this program, each United Way has different like services because pandemic is still going on. So the United Way of Southeastern Michigan, it's only virtual appointments. So we have a document with links to all of these. So we'll mail this out. We'll email it out with our follow-up email. So you'll have links to all these specific things instead of like trolling through a bunch of different websites. I've compiled them all for you. So the United Way of Southeastern Michigan, you'll fill out a survey, schedule a virtual appointment, and then will help you over a virtual appointment. If you're in the capital area and you want to use the VITA program, you have to dial 211 and schedule, I think, an appointment, and it'll be a phone interview. And then after that, it sounds like they will set up a virtual appointment or a phone appointment, and they will walk you through filing your taxes. If you are in Genesee County, the United Way of Genesee County has the most options. They are doing in-person appointments, which you have to call ahead and make your appointment for. But there's a whole flyer with all of the details, so all that's in our handout we're going to mail out later after the webinar. They also do virtual appointments at Mott Community College, so you can schedule a virtual appointment there. They also have drop-off locations, so if you want to download the documents, fill them all out, and drop them off at this church, you can do that, and then they review your documents, and then they call you in. So you just like wait in your car, it sounds like, from what I gather. So that is the VITA program. There's also a lot of free online versions. So, instead of, choosing which service you're going to pay for, there's a lot of free ones. So we just want to do a plug there, and United Way has advertised all of these. If you want to go to the next slide, Meredith. So these are all of the free online filing services that United Way recommends. The first one, myfreetaxes.com, you can file your state and federal taxes there for free by yourself. There is a chat box, so you can get assistance through a chat box, and the people running the chat box are IRS certified volunteers. So there's that. It does not have an income limit, so anyone can do it here. The only caveat is that your return has to be like a simple tax return. So that means no self-employment, no investment income or capital gains. So if you're filing your taxes and you have a lot of stuff going on, maybe not the best option for you. Get your refund. This was only advertised on the capital area United Way website, but when you go to the website, it doesn't say like it's locationally or regionally bound. So I'm guessing anybody can use it, but it was only listed on capital area United Way. So there's that caveat. But I'm guessing everyone can use it. I don't know. So the getyourrefund.com, you can file state and federal here for free. Same thing, you have a chat box with the IRS certified volunteer. But the added benefit to this website is that once you submit your filings, they say the IRS certified volunteer will double check your return before officially filing it for you. So that's super cool. This one does have the income eligibility requirement. So your household has to have an income of $66,000 or less to file with this website. And in general, for both of these, all three of these listed here, you should probably have a good, grip on online filing and reliable internet and computer access. Otherwise, it might glitch out and you might have to start all over, and that can be kind of a pain. And the last one that all of the United Ways recommend is the IRS Free File program, and this one is like powered through TurboTax. So if you already have a TurboTax account, this one might be easy for you. It is, the same thing, online self-filing system. You can do, this one does federal, state, and local taxes. So there are a handful of other requirements, but the main one that will primarily affect all of you VISTAs is that you are an individual who makes $39,000 or less. So I don't know what side hustles you got going on, but if you're making more than $39,000, you need to be doing, some webinars for us, because I could use some help. Anyway, those are the three big ones that United Way recommends. They should be all free if you meet all of their qualifications, so you won't have to pay for these tax services. I'm not telling you how to do this or advocating any which one. These are all ones that are on United Way. So I'm probably going to use one of these. So if you want to chat, other than that, hit me up. But I'm just the voice of the United Way websites. So hit me up if you have any questions. And that is all I have, Megan.
Oh, so to add that, actually, we're going to go back for a hot second. As a caveat, we'll send all of these things out. So if you're looking for, ways to file your taxes in the next couple of weeks, next couple of months, I guess, too, please take advantage of these. These are great uses for VISTAs. They're also good to pass on if you have constituents or clients that you're working with. They're all pretty reliable. I've known people who have used darn near all of these, and they work pretty well. So please take advantage of them because taxes are weird and we're not experts. So take advantage of them, please do. To add just a little bit of a finer point on taxes, we're going to go back here. So they do, for reference, to put some more details on the federal taxes, right? So we do withhold some level of federal taxes. If you look on your W-2, if and when you get it, which should be again pretty soon, they'll withhold some level of tax, particularly around Social Security, but they also withhold some federal taxes based on your W-4 that you guys filled out at the beginning of the year. So they'll withhold that because your living stipend is taxable income. They'll withhold that. We can't, for whatever reason, no one's really sure why. We can't withhold state taxes. We can't pay any state taxes right out of your paycheck. It's some level of federal guideline. It's grant money. I don't know. I'm not a tax expert. Money's hard. But know that there's not any state taxes paid for you right out of your paycheck. Same deal with local taxes, which makes a little bit more sense, right? Because you guys are serving at a variety of localities. But know that those are the two that you're going to really want to pay attention to and make sure that you're paying what you might need to. Often, and this is like often, your federal tax refund, because based on most VISTA salaries, you will receive a federal tax refund. Often that will cover your state taxes due. Don't hold me to it if it doesn't, but know that that's like often if that's just your income, normally that's how that runs. But yes, and for reference, your online taxes, you can pay your state taxes quarterly so that it's not a couple $100 due in April kind of thing. Again, we'd recommend that. We'll add that link as well. I think we sent it out after orientation, but we'll re-add that link to our website as well, because it's a good resource, especially if you happen to come into a little bit of cash with a refund. So just giving some context on that. Again, taxes are weird. If you don't get your W-2 soon, let me know. They've been mailed out, but sometimes things get lost in mail. Yeah, Megan got hers. That's exciting. So yeah, let us know. If you don't, we will send you a digital copy. The blue, yeah, I like it. If you don't get it, we'll send you a digital copy.
When you do get it, make sure to look it over and make sure everything looks correct. It should be, but mistakes happen, so let us know.
Yeah, check your Social Security number, check your spelling, check that kind of stuff, and kind of do a gut check on your W-2 when you get it. Because if that stuff's wrong, we can send you a corrected version. It shouldn't be, again, but just in case, good practice to have. So cool. All right, so we're going to pivot a little bit because that's what we do best. All right, so for reference, we've got some cool news. So field trips are coming up starting in the next month or so. So field trips are intended to be additional professional development for VISTAs. It's to give you some more feedback and some more understanding of the field. The field being either college access or workforce development or something that we think is pertinent to your service. It's a really great way to network. It's a great way to learn from smart people that are doing cool things in and around workforce development and college access. So you're required to go to 2 throughout the next 8 months or whatever we're at now. But we will have more than these 3. We're probably going to have 5 to 6 of them. You're obviously encouraged to go to more if you think that they're relevant. I think that a lot of them are really cool, but you're required to go to 2. So the first 3 that we have right now are February 19th, MCAN, shout out Skylar and Delicia, are going to do, they're going to do a presentation with Jenny McCardle, who's their Director of Service Strategy, about college access resources, particularly around FAFSA, because I believe that that completion date is the 1st of March, I think, don't quote me on that. So that'll be a really cool, interesting thing. MCAN does a lot of really groundbreaking and interesting statewide initiatives to really push college access. And for those of you that are in and around the college access sphere, this is a really good one to go to. It's a good connection point to chat with MCAN and to kind of have that knowledge base of all the resources that they have. So yeah, that's a good question, Peter. These field trips will vary. They're half days. So February 19th, I believe it's in the afternoon. We'll send out a follow-up email with the exact times and dates, but know that these are the broader dates. So MCAN is in February. Sarah Castle, Chris's illustrious wife, is doing one on college access. So she's doing research right now around college access. Chris, do you want to give a quick blurb about that one to kind of
Sure.
round it out?
My lovely wife, Sarah, she is currently working at Michigan State University to get her doctorate in mathematics education. And this is one of the many research projects she's a part of. And a part of this research is looking into how first year college students or like first generation college students are coming into college, and how like some of the testing that they do in terms of mathematics, like mathematics classes are where they're concerned, like how well they place in like high school, how will that translate into college level courses. So but she'll be able to give a little bit more of an explanation better than I can.
So if you're working with a lot of first-gen college students, this would be a good one to go to. Again, we'll send out blurbs with a little bit more information, but know that these are dates that should be in and on your calendar. And then April 28th, we want to get this one in particular on your calendar. This is a full day training, but it's for mental health first aid, specifically around caring with youth, because a lot of you guys, right, work in and around schools and with young people. So if you want to do this one, this is a really good one. It's facilitated by like a licensed mental health first aid trainer. Is a really good resource to have if you ever think that you might work with folks. It's a good thing to have in your back pocket, especially because this is a pretty trying mental health time right now. So make a note of April 28th. That's a full day training. It's 6 hours, but it should be a really, really good thing to have in your back pocket for much longer than just VISTA term. So we'll send out an email with these as well. For reference, we've got a handful of workforce development ones as well. We're doing a Brighter Way, which is a nonprofit focusing on wraparound services for folks that are leaving incarceration. That's on the docket sometime soon as well. So know that we've got a lot of really cool, interesting people that you guys are going to get to learn from. But we wanted to tee this up for you guys now, so you can get it on your calendars, because I know that you guys are all busy. Correct, Pam. Field trips are virtual this year. So you can settle back with like some popcorn and a Zoom screen and just learn for a couple hours. So it should be a little bit easier to fit into the day, but know that these are coming down the pipe. So cool. Questions, thoughts about field trips? Anything else you want to touch base on? I saw a couple things in the chat that I think, again, Peter, good question on times. We're solidifying them completely, but they should be 3 hours. I think MCAN's is in the afternoon, Sarah's is in the morning, and mental health first aid's all day.
MCAN's is 1 to 3 in the afternoon.
Thank you. Thank you. So yeah. We'll send out, what's going to happen with field trips is we're going to send out a sign-up link so that we can kind of get a gauge of who's going to join. Particularly around MCAN, we're going to get a gauge of like what you guys know and what you want to know. But that will be true on a lot of these as well. So we'll send out links that you can use to sign up. we really encourage that you sign up early, you get involved, because I think that there are some really, really great ones that I think can be good to broaden horizons on service. So keep an eye on for these. I think these will be cool. So on to even more interesting things. Speaking of cool field trips and interesting things, March 3rd through 4th is mid-year training. So that's all virtual this year. It's going to be super dope. I don't get that excited about trainings really, but I'm very excited about this one. Very thrilled. Got some really cool keynote speakers. I think we're going to have a lot of interesting discussions. This year is centered around really being able to leverage your service, both into a career and to really help and serve your community. So we've got a lot of, it's all virtual. We're working on a cool training platform. We're going to be really legit. It's not just going to be Zoom. It's going to be dope. But yes, so mark those on your calendar. March 3rd through 4th, they will be 2 full day trainings. You won't be training the full day, but please mark those off as unavailable the whole time, because it's really important to us that you're present and willing to participate in these trainings. We're going to have some resume reviews, but we're also going to have discussions about, how you can really leverage your service in a career. We're going to talk about, the importance of community colleges. We're going to do a lot of really cool stuff. It's going to get wild. So please mark those on your calendars. For reference, that's incorrect. Well, yeah, I guess it's technically correct. February 1st, your monthly timesheet was due. I think all of you guys turned them in, but if you haven't, please turn them in because we think timesheets are important, because they are. For reference, there was no monthly report due. So if you're like, oh no, I forgot my monthly report, don't worry, because you have a quarterly progress report to complete, which is due this Friday, February 5th. So QPR2 is due this Friday. You should have all received emails detailing where you can submit that. If you haven't received an email, let me know. We did just have to update all of our contacts in the platform that we use to send out the QPRs. So if we missed you for some reason, I don't believe we did, but if we missed you, please let me know ASAP so I can get you that link. If you have any questions about that, please let Chris and Mara know. They're real experts in QPRs, and they'd be glad to help you through. You guys have done one, so I'm confident that you guys can crush it for the second one, but know that. Those of you, particularly in workforce development, that had your performance measure shifted a little bit, those should be up to date. Those should be your new good performance measures in QPR number 2. If they're not, let us know, but they should be good to roll. So questions about QPRs, anything you want to raise? If you have a question, I am confident that 5 other people probably have that question. Okay. If you do, let us know, or type in the chat, or unmute yourself and yell at me. We can roll with us. Okay. So one last touch point that I wanted to bring up, and let's just chat about for a minute, is, so you guys all received an email last Monday, I think, time of the flat circle, talking about the fact that the VISTA program is ending at the end of this year. For reference, I just want to reiterate to you guys that that doesn't mean that you guys won't be able to finish your service here. We're here to make sure you guys get through the end. We're here to support you and make sure that this is a really great year for you guys. But know that if you have any questions about, if you're like, man, I'd really like to serve another year, but I don't know where to go, let us know. I know it's a little bit further off in the future, but we support national service and want to make sure that if you want to continue serving, we can find a spot for you. We'll connect you with other organizations, other intermediaries. We'll kind of point you the best way that we know. Let us know. If your supervisors are concerned about continuing national service, point them to me. We're doing webinars to connect them with other intermediary sites like us so that they can continue national service, but point them to me. If you've got any questions about this stuff, please reach out to Chris. Please reach out to Mara. Let me know. We'll gladly chat about it. But we're going to make this a really dope last year of the program. It's a really great program. And I think it'll be a good way to finish it off. So any questions, any thoughts about the VISTA program end. I wanted to bring this up so that we had some time to chat about it if we needed to. You guys are really talkative this morning. Love it. All right, cool. TPR questions, anything else? Okay, so to end it on a nicer note, because we have June, you go. Yes.
Yeah, well, when people keep bugging me to talk, it's hard enough to be quiet that it's not really an issue for me to talk. I was trying to decide whether I was going to be crazy and do another year or not. So you're in process of figuring out what that will look like. I know my service site would love to keep me for another year if I'm interested. So it's just a matter of finding out who's going to be the fiduciary and the support person for that particular program. I'm sure Mott's going to continue that program if they can, because that whole workforce development is all granted. So if they can keep Vistas in there, they're going to. It only benefits their programming.
Oh yeah, and connect them to me too, because it's great. It's a great program. So if we can, connect them to smart people. And you guys have the accelerator in Flint, which is also like, if you want an AmeriCorps member, you can get one for sure through the accelerator. But yeah, connect them to me, because there's a couple
I'm
other
kind of guessing
places
that either United Way or CRIM are the likely candidates to take over that. They're the ones doing a lot of the heavy lifting as far as programming it. I think it just depends on who's got the capacity to do the leadership. That being said, I have heard that M&A pays more, but I don't know. Maybe that is the training and the things that you guys pay for. I don't know if that's a truth or an ugly rumor, because those happen.
They do, yeah. I would say generally they're all fairly similar. I can't speak to that specifically, but yeah. But point them our way too if there's anything that we can do to support. And that goes to all your host sites. Seriously, like, we're not recruiting this year, so we have lots of bandwidth to make sure that your host sites are ready to roll for next year for sure. I'm looking at the chat. Yeah, this does mean that Meredith gets to go to law school, which is exciting. That is a win. Not excited for being a student again because I forgot how to study, but otherwise it'll be good. Real win. All right, so yeah, so stipend wise, yep, you'll still get the same payment. CNCS is still over the whole program. They're actually looking at expanding AmeriCorps. I think the new administration was talking about potentially a climate corps being a thing, which is kind of dope. Yeah, there's a lot of really interesting things happening in the AmeriCorps world generally right now. So yeah, seriously, if you want to continue with national service, hit me up, because there's a lot of really cool, interesting things brewing at the federal level, which means that there's still some time for it to like brew down to the local level, which is always how it works. Cool. Any other touch points? Anything else you guys want to talk about, chat about? Okay. So before we jump off, because I technically can still bother you for 22 minutes, let's talk about good things, because I think we're heading into the new year. I think this is it's been a long month. At least January was. It's technically 3 days into the new month, so bad if it's a long month already. But what have been some good things? What are you looking forward to as we look towards the spring, as we look towards, the next couple of months of VISTA service? What are some great things that you're keeping your eye on? Yeah, January did last 10 years. That was a long freaking month. And I'm very excited that it's not January anymore. So in that spirit, what are you guys looking forward to? What are good things that are coming down the pipeline for you or your organization? I know Peter's got a college and career fair that he just sent me an email about this week, which is looks really cool.
Yeah, just real quick, I can share. Traditionally, SEMCA, my host site, was sort of the point organization and they hosted at Wayne County Community College District Campus in Taylor, Michigan, here downriver, an in-person on-site college career fair. The last one they had was fall 2019, and they annually held it in the fall. Obviously, the pandemic forced the postponement for it in 2020. So I started my service and did some research, talked to some folks. Wayne State University used a vendor to host their college career fair in October virtually. And the admissions director that oversaw that as part of a volunteer group for our Wayne Cam, she referred me to them. I had some demos, some meetings and so forth. So long story short, we just launched the student side for the registration Monday, as well as the exhibitor side. And what will happen on Thursday, March 11th, from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. It'll be a virtual college and career fair. The exhibitors, and these will be colleges, universities, trade schools, and so forth, will have uploaded prior to that all the information about them. And it's basically, constructed, if you picture walking into a building, a gymnasium or something where a traditional fair might be held. The booths are similar. They sort of do a mock-up of a table and, click here to watch our promo video, click here to find out information on financial aid, et cetera, et cetera. The in-person fair typically had 60 plus exhibitors in person. So, we're hoping to at least match that, for virtual. The plus side of that is because traditionally folks had to get on a bus and go down to Wayne County College Community District and attend in person. Because it's virtual, we're hoping we might attract a larger audience, which typically they would get, 200 to 300 participants. But because it is virtually, we're hoping to, reach a wider audience and in fact, actually reach one statewide, because, a local college fair, just, no one's going to come from Grand Rapids, but because it's virtual, if you're living in Metro Detroit and you want to go to Western, we're hoping Western signs up and puts their information there online. Or, if you're in the UP and you want to come down to Wayne State, you can sign up. It's free. You get all the information you want. And then, of course, we're going to have a booth sort of set up for FAFSA, financial aid and so forth. So
That's so dope.
What-
I'm
what
super
platform?
here for this, Peter.
What platform are you using?
what platform or what vendor?
The online presence, like what?
Yeah, the vendor, they're out in Colorado. They're called Nova, Novva Tech. It's a web-based platform. They handle all of that, which, just adds to the value. There's no charge to us. They do charge exhibitors a fee. It's basically a software fee, because their folks then need to, make sure that anything that you send them as an exhibitor, like if you got a introductory video about your campus and so forth, all of that needs to be uploaded and finessed and things like that. But the fee is $350, which, if you think about the cost for somebody to actually hop in a car and drive down and set up, and, if you're coming from out of town, you got an overnight stay and all that, it's extremely cost efficient. So, but they're handling all that, which is great. We're the conduits to the exhibitors, as well as the outreach to make sure at the end of the day that this link gets in front of students so that they can go in, and students go in and they create their own individual online registration account. So that takes us out of the middle. So they go in and they're prompted to address, and answer certain questions, like if they have a career interest, are they looking for, if they think they're looking for a 2-year, a 4-year, whatever the case might be. In this way, it helps day of the event. The program is set up that it will recommend, if you will, save them some time, universities that are offering similar type trainings. They've done this for a number of years. They do them nationally. They do them internationally, actually. So we ask them to set it up for anybody throughout the country. If you're an exhibitor, if you're at Stanford and you have a significant student enrollment from, Southeast Michigan, then you might want to pay the $350 and get your brand out there in front of kids that are, interested in learning more about what you offer. that's just a working example. So, but again, they handle all the technical aspects. It's an extremely user-friendly platform. So we're excited to see what the outcomes will be.
Yeah, for our virtual trades fair, we actually, I kind of ran into this. I was in a meeting with Leo, Michigan Leo, the labor, economic, whatever. Something
Labor
to
and
do.
economic opportunity. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually was in a meeting with a guy who runs the state when they do the virtual job fairs. So basically they have a contract, and as long as my local Michigan Works office, which they will, is willing to be the host, the state will pay for the platform. And we use
Nice.
blazon.com. So I'm in the beginnings of trying to really get that all rolling out there. But people who are doing workforce development, if you want to do some sort of virtual trades fair, I would definitely talk to go that route. And then so that would all be free to us. People can register, and like you said, they'll have the little virtual booths and where people could talk one-on-one and whatnot. I did do the walkthrough. I contacted Blazon and did a walkthrough with them, so they kind of showed you how it worked. And then they have webinars all the time too you can look at. But yeah, I'm just, when it comes to virtual, I'm not a big, I can do the tech, but I cannot teach others to, like, I'm not a teacher. Like, I cannot do tech support over any form unless it's me with a mouse on a computer. So like, that's my fear, is like these vendors and stuff, even though Blazon has the support and supposedly they're the ones who will, help those people connect, and we could do dry runs. I can set up dry runs where people can go in and do this stuff. But yeah, when it comes to virtual, I'm always afraid like networks go down and things like that.
Well, there's only so much you can control at the end of the day, and we do not want to not offer, this opportunity. I mean, students are already at a disadvantage, as we all know, in so many ways that we can't even predict right now. But we're excited to offer the opportunity. It's far enough in advance. The beauty, as you suggested here, from 3 to 8, they'll be able to do live chats with representatives from these exhibitors. They can set up appointments. They can do all of that. They have a quote unquote virtual backpack. So if there's 20 of them that they want to visit, that they're interested in, they can drag and drop into their own personal account, PDF brochures or whatever, or, curriculums on certain areas of interest. And they can, they'll have that information accessible to them post-event. That'll enable them to, gather more information. Perhaps they do it and then they want to tell mom or pop about it afterwards. They can just open up those files and go, here's what I found out about Michigan State. Here's what I found out about Northern Michigan, blah, blah. And then for the exhibitors, they have access to all of that information post-event, which really attracted me to leveraging their services. They even provide the exhibitors transcripts of your live chat sessions. Because you're busy chatting with somebody and you forget to write something down and you're moving on to the next one, you can look up post-event that, this is what you promised this person, you get back to them, about, et cetera, et cetera. So it came highly recommended to us from Wayne State, so we checked them out because, like I said, they use theirs. And I know what Wayne State goes through for their vetting process and RFPs, and totally trusted them. They did the demo. We loved it. And at the end of the day, no cost to my host site. So.
Well, for my host site, they're starting off to do what they call a travel ambassador program, especially since one of their focuses is also like exposing students to like different cultures. So far right now, their main focus is like the Caribbean. So they said pretty much what they noticed over the years was that students were constantly asking them for pretty much for like different things that you would need for travel. So they were like, a lot of times they didn't know the answer. So they were like, okay, let's see if we could start up like a volunteer group within the program of like people who already travel for either for a living or like, retired, but still likes to travel. So like not just cruise ship travel, like actually like hopping on the plane and like, going to different countries. and stuff. So they were like, they would be able to answer whether or not, if you like, for example, certain countries require visas. I know for sure Brazil requires a visa for US citizens if you're trying to go over that way. And then so does Turkey. And then certain countries you just flat out can't go to. So they're like, the travel ambassadors, they will know more about that than we would. So let's just like see if we can start up a volunteer group within the organization to like get more volunteers to like like pretty much get more volunteers to like help out and everything. So that's pretty much what they've been working on. And they also started up sign-ups for students for, I think, the 2021-2022 school year for the program. So that's pretty much what's been going on at my whole site.
That's dope. That's a really good idea too. And June and Pam are fully vaccinated, which is, they're going to be soon. That's really exciting. These are wins. Thank you for sharing, everybody. Does anybody else have like something cool that they'd like to share out? Fair. Yeah, June and Pam can have a vaccination party. Charisma made stickers, like cool stickers. Peter has a really good blog. Yeah, for reference, read Peter's blog. Ooh, and June got a vaccinated sticker. I like it. Yeah.
I have a new workshop. This is Pam.
Oh, cool.
We're doing a new pull-out workshop for kids, and it's called Please Don't Ask Me What I'm Doing. I Have No Idea. And so if anybody has stories about how they didn't know and ended up with something great afterwards, we're going to do first gens that are seniors who really don't know what they're going to do.
Pam, that's an incredible workshop name. Please don't ask me what I'm doing. I have no idea. That speaks to me. I'm here for it.
Oh, that's similar.
I like it. That's super exciting.
Oh, that's similar to the one that I'm kind of like still working on and everything. Like we're supposed to be going over drafts right after this. But anyway, the organization, we call it My First Jobs, and it's pretty much like asking like local leaders to like help out and pretty much help students like figure out like how pretty much tell them that when you first start working, you're not going to know everything, so don't fret or anything, and just pretty much tell them like what they wish they knew before they started working. Or things like that. So that's so I'm like Pamela's program. It sounds similar to the one that we're doing at Atlantic Impact.
That's super dope. I think we should normalize people not knowing what they're doing in terms of a trajectory, because life is weird and complicated and sometimes things shift. And like, that's not a bad thing. You can shift and that's like an acceptable thing. It doesn't mean you're a failure. Yeah, I think we should normalize that and ask questions. Those are two things, but that's my hot take. I like it. Yeah, seriously though, +1 for Peter's blog. Speaking of like understanding your trajectory, you should read Peter's blog this week or this month. It's a good one. And you get to see a picture of Peter's dog, who is very cute. And it's not just because like we didn't just think that Peter looked like a dog. Like it's Peter's very cute dog that is part of his blog story. Yeah. It's super cute. Yeah, highly recommend.
I wanna print that, share it. So inspiring. It was all poetry. It was wonderful. Thank you so much. Whew.
And it's true too, so.
Which always helps.
That's why it's so good.
I like it.
Because it's the truth.
I like it. All right. Excellent. It was really good to see all of you, genuinely, because I see like 3 people on Zoom, and Chris and Mara, you're great, but I see you guys all the time on Zoom. It's nice to see some other faces on the screen. So I'm really glad that we could check in this month and see that you guys are doing all right. And again, if you guys have questions, if you're like, man, where's my W-2? Or like, what are taxes? Because that's a weird thing that we do every year. Let us know. If you've got PD that you want to look into, if you've got questions, if life is just really hard for you right now because we're in a global pandemic and it's winter and you haven't seen the sun in 6 months, let us know. Like, chat with us, connect. We're all here as a cohort together so we can get through this year. And Charisma has super dope stickers that I see, and you should show them. That's incredible.
Cute.
You made them? Wow. Our cohort is very talented.
So,
Aww.
Chris and Mara, I'll extend to you the same, and I think this goes for everybody on this call, the same invitation we extended to Meredith going forward. Knowing that your M&A gig is going to wrap up here and Meredith's going on to become a big shot lawyer, anything at all that, you know, I can do personally, and I'm sure that this applies to everybody on this team, on this cohort, we can do for you going forward, let us know. You know, this came as a surprise to us personally, and you guys are great people, and hopefully this doesn't disrupt your trajectory, as you will, going forward. So, but anything we can do, let us know.
Thank you, Peter. That's what's great about not having any trajectories. Can't really get thrown off course.
Right.
Of course, so far, so we're good. Don't worry.
I have a weird comment about taxes that it just occurred to me. For anyone who's thinking about another year of service, if this is your first year of service and you're thinking about another year of service, it's really important that you put some money towards your state taxes for next year, because it's not going to be withheld. This was something that Zakia warned us about way back, and this is my 3rd year of service. It was hugely helpful that you, and the state will help you put some away, but they get really, really, really unhappy if there's nothing being withheld and there's nothing that they can hang on to in case you flake. So they will fine you a big amount, even if you have the money to pay it, but nothing was held and nothing was, you know, like put in their little bank. They'll fine you. So if you think you're going to serve next year, or you're not sure somebody's going to take money out, make sure that you throw a little money this year in that pot for next year so you're covered, because it's, you know, we're not making any money anyway. It's unfortunate. I would hate to see anybody get penalized or have to do all of that because they didn't throw a couple $100 in some little bank that the state has where they're holding on to tax money. I just, that would make me very sad. And I just always make sure there's a little something. So I don't know, I'm probably going to end up owing this year because I paid off some of my student loan, and who knows what that's going to look like. But just an FYI, you got to kind of think ahead on that if you're going to do this again.
That's a super good point, June. And 1 year of VISTA typically doesn't do anything weird with your taxes because it's like really only half a year in like tax speak. But yeah, be aware if you're a second year or if you're looking into being a second year VISTA. It's not a huge deal, but to June's point, right, that it's something that could for sure bite you, which is why we would recommend speaking to a tax professional who would probably be a good expert on those things, because I do TurboTax and don't understand taxes. So seriously, keep an eye on that stuff. Again, if you've got weird questions, if you've got kind of atypical questions, let us know. We can't actually answer them, but we can for sure point you in the direction of people that can. We'll send out the link of super helpful tax resources that Mara compiled. We'll send that out this afternoon, so keep an eye out too. But it was really good to see all you guys. Thank you for joining. Have an excellent rest of your week and month, and we'll check in soon. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Everybody.
Have a good Wednesday.